Hello there guys, this is Alan doing a best out of one ranked draft video. Today we're going to just focus on Ravnica Allegiance for now, since it just recently came out. I did a couple of Guilds of Ravnica drafts the day before, but happy revisiting this set. Happy that they also fixed the Merfolk Secret Keeper problem in Throne of Eldraine. But for now, the Ravnica Allegiance seems like where it's at, so let's begin here. Alright, it's pack one, pick one. Raised Boar is definitely a powerful, great curve topper in Gruul or Simic. Requires a lot more ramp though, so I see it being really powerful in the Simic deck. In the Gruul deck, you would definitely need to stall out and play 17 lands to enable this, but once it hits the battlefield, you pretty much win the game for the most part. Other good cards, Cold Constraint is pretty solid. Sangil Mage is good. Commons, Grasping Throw is a nice 5-drop. Savage Smash is a great removal spell. But in terms of overall power level, it has to just be the End-Raise 4 runners. Just a powerful card in any green deck, of course. When it enters the battlefield, it's giving everything +2/+2 Vigilance and Trample, which is no joke. Given that green has lots of big creatures already, the End-Rage... sorry about that. Given that in green you're playing lots of big creatures, just giving those big creatures +2/+2 Vigilance and Trample is kind of a nightmare for the opponent to deal with. So happy picking this up. Pick one, pack one. Again, the other cards are pretty good, but not the same power level of End-Raise Forerunner, which serves as a powerful win condition and can just win you the game outright if you are able to cast it. So happy picking it up here. Any good green cards? Well, I'm happy following up with perhaps a Seraphim Hybrid as a great green card in any green deck. Other good cards, of course, Gateway Sneak is great. Kind of sets us up in Simic. Light of the Stage is fine, but it's better in Rakdos, since in Gruul you tend to have lots of expensive big creatures, and you end up exiling those cards and not being able to play it, so it's not that great in Gruul. It can be decent though. Same with Collision. Collision Colossus is a nice Gruul card. Scorch Mark is a fine, decent removal spell. But if I'm going to take up the other red or blue cards, I'm going to commit myself to a guild right away. But but in terms of power level, Gateway Sneak is probably the best card in this pack, but slightly over maybe like Seraphim Hybrid. It's not so powerful and broken that I'm just going to take it over a powerful 2-drop like Seraphim. Seraphim keeps us in green, keeps our options open. Still an excellent 2-drop that becomes a huge threat in the late game. Plays well in the deck that's looking to run the End-Raise 4 runners. So happy picking that up. Let's take it. And maybe this is a great incentive to move into Gruul, because Clamor Shaman is definitely a great card. There's also Hero Precinct 1 in this pack, but given that our first two picks are green, there's really no Selesnya in this set. And I'm not going to ever splash for a Hero of Precinct 1, but this card can be pretty broken if you play it in the right multicolor white deck. The Clamor Shaman makes sense as a powerful 3-drop, with the ability to make a target creature that opponent's controls not able to attack. And in Gruul, if we end up in Gruul, this is definitely the card you want in that type of deck, simply because you're looking to play lots of early game creatures, and then curve out to the mid game to just beat down your opponent, and Clamor Shaman does a great job of smashing through. Also great in Rakdos. Arrester's Admonition I wouldn't mind too in the Simic deck as a solid interaction spell. Also applied Biomancy. Between these two, it's hard to decide which one is better. Like, this one can draw you a card in your main phase. This one's better off on your opponent's turn. It's 2 mana, and you can also pump a creature to maybe get a nice ambush in that they will never ever consider. So these two are close. But in terms of power level and efficiency, I think I like the Clamor Shaman. Maybe then we're going to move a little bit towards Gruul. Make a nice red-green aggressive deck with End-Raise 4 runners as a curve topper. I would prefer, maybe moving Simic with these two cards slightly, however, given that they're a little bit expensive, given that their DAP costs and the End-Raise 4 runner is a lot of mana, and Simic is looking to ramp for the most part. But either way, I don't think any of these two cards are that great compared to like a Clamor Shaman, for example. So even in Gruul, these can be fine. Better off in Simic a little bit by slightly, but I think the Clamor Shaman, even in Gruul, they can be pretty efficient creatures. So liking the Clamor Shaman here. Now we can move a little bit back towards Simic because there's a Chillbringer as an excellent 5-drop. I'm not set on Gruul, even though I picked up a Clamor Shaman. Otherwise, all we're looking at is perhaps a Gruul Guildgate. I'm not a big fan of Rubber Belt Slinger, and especially an aggressive deck. More of a sideboard option against flyers. But overall, I think the Chillbringer is the right pick here, given that it's the best, most flexible card in this pack. Other great cards, Archway Angel. Swirling Torque can be a fine finisher too, but I'd rather have creatures. We already have Enrace Forerunners as a finisher in our green deck. Can be kind of awkward in Simic regardless, because you have a bunch of bounce spells that cost cheaper, like Arrester's Admonitions and Applied Biomancy, which can give you a little bit more upside. So I'm definitely liking the Chillbringer, speculating on Simic here. So let's move on. Any good red cards? I guess there's a Spike-Wheeled Acrobat, which can be okay. Gruul doesn't really look to enable Spectacle too much, so it can be quite problematic. Otherwise, none of these cards look too amazing. There's a Stony Strength, which can perhaps catch an opponent off guard a little bit. Surui Caretaker is a pretty bad way to fix for mana. There's also Consign, which we could consider splashing for, to be honest, in case we move into Jund, i.e. Rakdos splashing black. But I think maybe a Spike-Wheel Acrobat can be okay in the Gruul deck. If we have lots of 2-drops and we're looking to be hyper aggressive, then we can develop a nice 5/2 attacker, which can be pretty scary for the opponent to deal with. Stony Strength is not the best instant speed ambush trick. Just giving a creature +1/+1 is not that great. I mean, you might ambush a creature occasionally, but it's not. But +1/+1 isn't that great of an incentive. So I think I might gamble on this Spike-Wheel Acrobat here. We'll see. Let's try it out. And okay, there's a Gate Colossus, which is still late in the pack. Definitely a really powerful card if you get enough gates for it to get going. I guess there's a Skitter Eel we could consider, which is a great card in Simic as well. I don't think I've ever run 2 Spike-Wheel Acrobats. Don't think I'm splashing for Carnival Carnage. So I think it's just between Gate Colossus and Skitter Eel. Again, I could just move towards Simic or Gruul either way. Spike-Wheel Acrobat is not a card I really want to play in Gruul. Kind of a filler card in case I don't have any 3 or 4 drops, to be honest. I'd rather just have my first Skitter Eel in case I commit more heavily towards Simic, because this is a great 4-drop that can grow bigger. So I think I'm just going to take it here. The Gate Colossus, okay. I'm liking the Giant Engineer, so maybe we just move back towards Simic. Again, I'd rather play the Enrace Forerunners, Seraphim Hybrid, and even Skitter Eel in Simic, because we're looking to ramp for the most part into our big finisher 8-drop. So definitely looking to anticipate moving towards Simic over Gruul. I could, however, pick up Mana Fixing too to maybe splash for the Clamor Shaman. Not an amazing splash in Simic. Simic's not looking to be hyper aggressive that the Clamor Shaman is so amazing. It's just looking to play early drops and then ramp into bigger creatures for the most part, bigger creatures than Gruul creatures, of course, and win the game in the late game. So yeah, it's a high chance I don't end up splashing this Clamor Shaman. We'll see, but I think the most powerful card in this pack is the Giant Engineer, so it makes sense to pick it here as a powerful 3-drop that gets us to our 5 drops and our 8 drops. So let's take it. Move towards Simic, and I'm happy with Thought Collapse in Simic. We're looking to adapt our creatures and leave up mana more than often or not, and then we can keep up a counter spell as well to maybe deal with a removal spell or a threat that we can't answer. So I'm happy picking the Thought Collapse. Sphinx is another expensive creature. Flying, it can be an okay win condition, but still 7 mana is quite expensive, and for 5/5 flyer is kind of slow for what it does. So happy taking a Thought Collapse. Looking to play Simic now. Any great Simic cards in this? Not really. The best card in this pack is Grasping Throw. We're not looking to play mill or defense, so the wall is not going to be too great. I think we're committed to Simic at this point, given that we have Gyre Engineer and all these green and blue cards. So I don't think we're going to move towards Azorius anytime soon. Could maybe keep a Gift of Strength for this deck. Can catch an opponent off guard. Has a nice way to maybe block a flyer and kill it off. So happy taking it here. Now, Territorial Boar can be fine. There's also Collision Colossus, which we could splash for. It's not an amazing splash. The first part can deal with a flyer, but that is, again, situational. You want to deal with ground creatures mostly. The splash, you can get blown out by it. Giving a creature +4/+2 is real, and trample is nice, but you need to prioritize more mana fixing. I think I'm liking the Territorial Boar just as a solid 2-drop. Plays well in if we have a lot more 4-power creatures, of course, but still pretty solid overall. I could also consider the Open the Gates in case I end up splashing white or red, so that's also a good consideration. Prying Eyes can be fine in the late game to draw me cards. So lots of options here. Territorial Boar is not that amazing, to be honest, in Simic, because Simic tends to play small creatures that you're looking to grow big. It's better off in a hyper-aggressive Gruul deck where you're playing lots of small creatures and smashing in early. But it could be okay. Maybe the Open Gates could just be better off in a Simic deck if I'm looking to splash like red, for example, or white. It also can be used as a land, so I guess it can be fine. You can definitely pick up better 2-drops than a Territorial Boar. So it's kind of close between these two. And maybe I just don't mind having an Open the Gates, to be honest, to help fix for my mana, because I do need like triple green for end raise. I'm probably going to get there in a late game anyways. It can help me find my blue mana for my turn 2 plays, can help me splash for a third color. And Territorial Boar is only better if you have lots of 4-power creatures like in Gruul. In Simic, you're looking to play small creatures again that grows big, so it's not the most amazing card in Simic. So I think I'm just going to take a guess here and open the gates and speculate on it. Now, Wrestler's Admonition wield, so it looks like blue is pretty open. Nice interaction spell. Can draw you a card in your main phase. Can use it on the opponent's turn. Happy to pick that up. Plays well with Thought Collapse. Nothing here. Maybe I play a second Gift of Strength. We'll see. Maybe the Stony Strength is fine. Alright, pick 2, pack 1. We opened a nice bomb. Guardian Project is definitely excellent. Just the ability to draw cards every single turn you play a creature is really powerful. Other great cards to consider. There's an Arskiller Eel, which I'm fine with. A Titanic Brawl can be fine with if we have bigger creatures to fight with. Also, a Simic Guildgate is nice. Gate Colossus if we're picking up more Guildgates. But overall, Guardian Project is a bomb. Just being able to draw cards every single time you play lots of creatures is really nice, especially in Simic when you're looking to prioritize a lot of creatures. And Simic tends to not have a lot of card draw. Like, the green decks don't tend to have a lot of card draw, unlike decks like unlike Azorius. So this definitely enables it. Helps us find our help us out-tempo the opponent, find removal spells, win conditions, etc. in the later games. So Guardian Project is definitely a great card. I'm happy to pick up and play exactly on 4. Now what? There's a Direcaster we could consider splashing. Can be fine, but it's better off in like the red decks for the most part. There's also Biogenic Upgrade as a fine finisher as well. Nice Simic flavored card. There's a Sonic Griffin, which is an okay 4-drop, which I wouldn't mind playing in a Simic deck, just as a nice 3/2 flyer, and a way to scry one is nice. Skullgator, but I guess our win conditions are already the End Race Forerunners. We could play the Biogenic Upgrade as a secondary win condition, and we could use another late game finisher to be honest. Like Sand Griffin is okay, but the 2 toughness is quite bad sometimes, especially if you're getting rushed down by an opponent. It is also double blue, so it can be awkward at times if you don't have like triple green in the opening, as in your opening hand, and you don't have the double blue right away. It's a pretty decent card that's flexible, of course. But 4 mana, it is quite expensive, and if the opponent is rushing you, all it's going to do is end up trading for itself, so you're going to end up trading for like a 2 or 3 drop, which is kind of bad. It's flexible. I think the card might just be Biogenic Upgrade, just as another nice, excellent win condition in the late game, especially if you're looking to ramp, play lots of creatures, and go big. Makes sense since it's Simic flavored, and we're looking to play a Simic deck, so happy picking it up here. Whoa, that's a powerful card, but we can't play it. But there's another Giant Engineer, which looks great. There's also Steeple Creeper to consider. Fairy Duelist is fine. Regenesis as a way to fetch maybe like Enray's Forerunners in the late game, but this is already going to be 8 mana, and I still need to keep 5 mana up to get this back. So I think we can just win by creatures and ramp alone. That we don't need to really recur our creatures that end up dying. So I think I'm liking the second Jar Engineer here, just to be able to ramp out towards our win conditions for 3 mana. Mana Spark could also be okay, but Giant Engineer seems like the correct pick here over the Electro Dominance. Now there's a Gruul Guildgate if we want to splash red, but again, Clamor Shaman is not the most amazing splash in Simic, because you're not looking to be hyper aggressive again. You're just looking to mostly ramp into the big boys and stabilize by then. There's also Galloping Lizrog, which can be okay. It's not that amazing. We don't have. We currently only have like Seraphim Hybrids, Skitter Eel, and perhaps a Biogenic Upgrade to gain 1/1 counters. It can be quite expensive too at 5 mana. Like it can be a fine trample creature if you can get rid of 1 single counter and make this into a 5/5 threat. But overall, I think the Arrester's Admonition is just a better interaction spell overall that we're looking to need in this type of deck. Just to bounce back creatures, get huge attacks across for cheap. Also draws you a card. And Galloping Lizrog is fine, but it's replaceable as a 5-drop. It can be kind of awkward removing a counter from your creatures and then like having them readapt again. I mean, it can be quite threatening, however, so that's also consideration. But I think our late game should be fine given these win conditions. We got a Flyer, Biogenic Upgrade, and Race Forerunners. Guardian Project can give us a bunch of stuff that maybe we don't need a Galloping Lizrog. We should be fine in terms of win condition that we're just looking to have some good 2/3s, 4-drops, and we can get there. And this is pretty high and solid. This is a pretty high curve, so I think I like the Admonition here. This is a nice 3 mana bounce spell, an interaction spell that we desperately need in Simic. Happy with Seraphim Hybrid, definitely over the Steeple Creeper, excellent 2-drop, can grow big in the late game, also a nice win condition. So you can think of Seraphim Hybrid as a nice 2-turn play and a 6-drop. So if we pick one up, kind of our late game is pretty much settled at that point, and we just need to focus on our curve. So happy picking it up here. Now maybe, how good is a Slimebine? I think the Fairy Duelist has a little bit more upside because it's good against Death Touchers. I mean, this can be fine against Death Touchers as well. Sometimes giving a creature -4/-0 could just be better than developing a Flyer and giving a creature -2/-0. I mean, they could be pretty similar, to be honest. I don't know how important having a 1/2 Flyer in this deck. I guess it can go well with the Guardian Project to fly over. You can probably chump block a Flyer as well. You can use Biogenic Upgrade to distribute a counter onto this card. So I think maybe the creature is overall better than the extra -2 from the Slimebine. So I think maybe Fairy Duelist is the pick here. It's fine against Death Touchers anyways, because Death Touchers mostly tend to be low power, 2 or less power. So, and this develops a creature. You can use this to shrink down a 1 toughness creature and then block it, which is really nice, and you get a nice 2-for-1. So maybe Fairy Duelist is just better than Slimebine. We'll see. Ooh, Trollbred Guardian is a nice 5-drop. Definitely at a high power level. And this could pretty much just solidify our late game that we just need more early game. But happy seeing this beam pass. It seems like Simic is definitely the place to go in this draft. Just giving all your +1 creatures with +1/+1 counters trample is already better than the Galloping Lizrog. So happy that I picked the Addresser's Admonition over it. So Trollbred is powerful, definitely to pick here. How good is Splashing Rhythm of the Wild? Can be a little bit awkward if I'm playing Simic because I'm looking to fully adapt my creatures and not just put one counter on them. But other than that, there's nothing really great in this pack. Like, I don't need a Scuttlegator. I could maybe play a Sagittarius Volley in case I'm a little bit more weaker to flyers. So I guess we can cut this Clamor Shaman. Don't think I need a splash of Rebel Belt Recluse with these 2 5-drops. Late game is looking great. So really, this pick here doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. But I don't think we're ever going to play Rhythm of Wild and splash for it in a Girl deck. So I think I'm going to take the Sagittarius Volley in case I need defense against flyers. And Titanic Brawl looks nice in our deck. Don't think I need Wrecking Beast, given that End-Raise Forerunners is just a better Wrecking Beast. So Titanic Brawl is a nice fight spell I can use. Don't think I'm playing any of these. Any chance of Splashing Daggercaster? Probably not. So just take... never going to play Sand Courier anyway, so just take this for gems. Ooh, Steeple Creeper is looking nice in this deck. There's also Regenesis, which might be the deck for, to be honest. Given that I have all these late game cards, it can be kind of awkward, however, if I'm just fetching out one card with this, and I'm trying to keep up all this mana end of turn on the opponent's turn to use. So maybe it's just not that great in this type of deck. I guess I like the Steeple Creeper as an efficient 3-drop. Flying Attacker, great in Simic because you can give this flying and catch an opponent off guard and trade for a flyer or smash through. Definitely incentivize us to pick up those Rubble Belt Boars. Not Rubble Belt Boar, the 2-drop, I forgot what the name is. Rubble Belt Boar is the red 4-mana 3/3. Don't think I need Mammoth Spider. Wilderness can be okay in this deck too. But again, I think we should be fine in terms of mana, that we don't really need all the extra mana to leave up to adapt. Can play well to counter spells, of course, but again, creatures are more important in Simic, to be honest. So Steeple Creeper is solid here, and now I think I can consider the Territorial Boar over the Galloping Lizbrock just to have more 2-drops in the early game. Plays well the Steeple Creeper, the Trollbred Guardian, and raise Forerunners. So I think it's pretty good in our deck now. Galloping Lizbrock would be another 5-drop that we don't really need because we're looking to lower our curve, and we have solid win conditions already. So happy solidifying the 2-drop slot. Our Steeple Creeper looks excellent with the Territorial Boar. Axebane Beast, maybe we play it. Okay, so looking at the third pack, what do we need? Deck is looking pretty powerful. We could use a little bit more 2-drops, a little bit more better removal spells. Just looking overall to upgrade our creatures, maybe get rid of this Axebane Beast and this Gift of Strength for something even better, but overall pretty nice draft. So let's move on. Ooh, okay, I'm not saying no to a Gatebreaker Ram. I don't have any gates as of right now, but I guess it can incentivize me to pick up more Simic Guild Gates throughout this draft. Angel of Grace is a busted bomb mythic. You pick one, pack one, but I don't have the mana to support it, given that I'm heavy green. Second Fairy Duelist is okay, but I don't think I need another one. Prying Eyes, but I already have a lot of late game stuff that we're looking to win through creatures, not card draw. So I think I like the Gatebreaker Ram, incentivize a lot more gates for this final pack, and this can be a really strong creature if you can get like 2 or 3 gates going. So happy picking that up. And, well, not going to say no to a second Cereborn Hybrid. There's also a Rage Ceratok and a Skatewing Spy, of course. Pretty hard choice here, to be honest. We could use a little bit more 2s, so Seraphim Hybrid seems like the right choice here. Skatewing Spy is definitely powerful with like our adapt creatures like Seraphim, Skitter Eel, Trollbred Guardian, Biogenic Upgrade, but we should win purely through the trample from the Trollback Guardian, the End Race Forerunners as a curve topper. Maybe we just smash through with Biogenic Upgrade that we don't need flying. I mean, I guess it can be upgrade over the Axebane Beast, to be honest, but I think our deck needs a little bit more early game. That I think the right choice here is just Seraphorm Hybrid. And I'd probably take the Skatewing Spy over the Enraged Ceratops because it has a lot more utility. But I think we need to solidify our 2-drop slots. So let's pick them there, Seraphorm, lower our curve. And now I'm liking the Applied Biomancy. There's also Essence Capture as a nice counterspell, but we have a Thought Collapse already. Essence Capture could be fine, but it plays a little bit awkward in Simic creatures in the fact that you need to put a 1/1 counter onto a creature, and we're looking to just fully adapt for the most part. Also, double blue is kind of weird to keep up at 2 mana, so I think I'm liking my chances with the Applied Biomancy. Just another nice interaction spell to bounce back a creature, grow a creature a bit, etc. So let's pick up here. There's another Arrester's Admonition. I guess there's another Skitter Eel. I think we're good in interaction as of right now. I can just cut this Gift of Strength, cut this Axebane Beast because it seems pretty bad. And we have like 3 bounce spells already, so I don't think I need another one. I think it makes sense to pick the Skitter Eel here, just to have another solid 4-drop in this deck. So let's take it. Don't think this is a deck splashing for Nikia. We currently don't have any Gruul Guild Gates for it. I'm kind of sad that we didn't pick up any gates yet for this Gatebreaker Ram, so it's pretty much kind of useless in our deck as of currently. Maybe it's just a Sent Griffin or the Applied Biomancy. Like, we're not looking to win to flying anyways, and I think our 4s could be fine. We could use an extra one, but I think having 3 4-drops can be nice here with Guardian Project and Scary Eel. That should be fine. In terms of creature count, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We should have enough creatures, so maybe we don't need to send Griffin. I think the other Applied Biomancy can be nice here. In case we don't end up playing this Open the Gates, we can just have another interaction spell. Nothing here too amazing. Guess this might be the deck for Regenesis, but it is quite expensive to keep up. But it can be fine with Adapt, I guess. If the opponent kills one of our creatures, we can use it to fetch something back. There's also a Slimebind, of course. I mean, I guess we can kind of build our deck now. Like, maybe we just cut the Open the Gates. That's 23. Maybe Thought Collapse can go. And we just need one more card, I guess, and what we're looking for. I wouldn't mind testing out the Regenesis. Haven't used this card too often. It can be fun if we, for example, manage to trade off some creatures and then fetch them back with the Regenesis. It is quite expensive, though, for what it's worth. So I don't know, maybe the Slimebind could just be better as a nice way to deal with Death Touchers for cheap mana and get a nice trade, nice combat trade. So yeah, let's try Slimebind. Not feeling my chances with the Regenesis, to be honest. Maybe Sage's Roll can make in this deck. It's not amazing, but it can scry and find us something. Incubation could be the card that we could use in this deck, just to find our big stuff like Enraged Forerunners and like Trollback Guardian in the late game. Other than that, the Sage's Row is not that amazing. It can scry too, but who cares, to be honest. This is better than scrying. It finds you a card. Didn't take up enough gates that I want to play Open the Gates. So yeah, maybe the Incubation makes it in this deck. Who knows? Maybe a Growth Spiral is just a better, nice way to ramp. Already have the Sagittarius Volley as a flyer removal spell, so I don't think I need the Collision first portion of it. Maybe the Growth Spiral kind of makes sense in this deck. Don't think I need Wrecking Beast again. I should be fine in my late game. That don't need another expensive creature. Maybe a second Fairy Duelist can be nice. Let's try that. Nothing here. Pretty bad cards overall. Shimmer is just the worst. Incubation and Congruity. Liking the Essence Capture. Even though it is awkward in Simic, it is a counter spell. It does deal with a creature. for double blue. I can always submit 0 if I don't want to put a counter onto a one of my adapt creatures, and it can still be okay for 2 mana. Otherwise, there's Dot Collapse, which mills the opponent, but I'd rather just pay 2 mana, 2 blue over 3, 2 blue and a colorless. So Essence Captures can seem fine in this deck. Nothing here. Don't think I'm playing any of this. So I guess we can kind of build our deck now. Let's get rid of Open the Gates. Gatebreaker Ram is abysmal, so we can cut that. Don't think I'm playing Root Snare. Okay, maybe Regenesis makes it. We'll see. Alright. Pretty solid deck overall. We're looking to do 5 cuts. I think this is a 17 land deck. I mean, what are our cuts? I guess we can decide we can cut the Incubation and Congruity just because it's just there to search as a card, which we don't care about. Regenesis is just a nice way to recur a creature in the late game. Could maybe cut the Growth Cycle. We should have enough ramp with the Gyre that we don't care. So let's just say we cut these 3. Could just cut a Fairy Duelist. Because we have a Slimebind already. I'm liking the Titanic Brawl. Double Apply Biomancy seems nice. Essence Capture. Or we just cut Dot Collapse, I think. I think that can go, given that we already have Essence Capture as our counter spell. Maybe Slimebite and Fairy Duelist is a little bit more important. So overall, I think this is our deck. 14 creatures, 9 non-creatures, so slightly low on creatures, but I guess it can be okay. I could consider cutting a land, as crazy as it seems, given that I have double Gyre Engineer, but I have triple Seraphim Hybrid, so I do need 6 mana a lot to adapt. I do need the 4 mana to get this flying. I need to adapt with this as well. Biogenic Upgrade and Raise Forerunners is really expensive, so double bounce spells is nice. Apply Biomancy, Arresters, Titanic, Essence Capture, Slimebind, and Fairy Duelist are kind of like optional, I guess. I think I want to keep one of these, and I think the Fairy Duelist makes more sense. I could cut the Slimebind for a counter for a Thought Collapse, given that I'm bouncing so many creatures back. That and I have so many adapt creatures up that I might prefer to counter spell over the Slimebind interaction spell. Perhaps. So, let's think here. I'm liking the creatures. Growth Spell just draws me a card and ramps, but I have enough ramps, so I don't need it. Incubation to find us a card, but I don't care. I can usually just draw into them. I guess Regenesis could be fine, but I think we can close out the game with the creatures that we got, that we don't need to recur them. So maybe this is just our deck. I think given that we have so much bounce, maybe we don't need the Slimebind. I think it's better to have the Thought Collapse to counter them on the way back. So I think this is just our deck here. We're slightly favoring green, so 9-8 looks decent. We do need double blue for Essence Capture, blue for Steeple Creeper Flying, Gyre Engineer in the early game, so I guess we can just go 9-8. So that seems like the plan. And this is not that special of a deck, so I guess we just call it Simic. And yeah, let's move on to our first match and see how well this deck performs. Well, we have Engineer on 3, so if we get some more powerful late game cards through our draw steps, I think it's good. So I think I'm just going to risk it and keep. I would love the 2-drop, but I think this should be fine, given that we have a bunch of late game finishers. So let's play the island in case we top deck like Essence Capture. We can try to force out next turn. So opponent is in Azorius. He could just be the clear to mind deck. So I'm going to play lots of defense. So pretty interesting so far. Got the Jar Engineer. We've been top decking lands and flooding out lately, so hopefully we get our big boy next turn. He doesn't have enough to have a Thought Class, but he does have enough for an Essence Cap for a Quench. So he could still be main decking one, but hopefully we get something going, and that's really nice. But again, I need 8 mana for that, so I think I'm just gonna say go, take it for now. So I just need 2 more turns to drop this End-Raze Forerunner, but hopefully I pick up a creature in the meantime. I might just take 3 for now. No reason to bounce anything back. Opponent's looking to trade for his Jar, but probably not, because I need this to cast the End-Raze Forerunner. Opponent's probably going to think about playing around Frilled Mystic. Now Trowbred Guardian looks nice, and I have enough to pay Quench, so Trowbred definitely looks powerful here. I think I'm just going to say go, keep up the bounce spells. Okay, Fairy Duelist, so he's looking to just try to kill me in the air for now, so... Okay, Deputy, and let's see what he's looking to target. So he's looking to target this, but I can bounce it back. I can let this resolve, and then if he decides to attack with the 2/1, I can definitely bounce the Deputy back. And then I can get a nice block on this 2/1, which seems really nice. Now this is a nice turn to drop out the End-Raze Forerunner and get a huge attack in. This is 14 damage to the face. Next turn I can adapt this and apply Biomancy and also trample over, so he's going to be forced to block here. Okay, guess that deals with the End-Raze Forerunners. I could still bounce the Sky Tether back, so that seems pretty nice. I do lose out on the attack. I mean, I guess I could bounce it back and attack for lethal, because I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but this is 8 mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can't bounce this back and get an attack in, so I think I'm just going to have to say go and bounce end of turn. And I might just bounce back the End-Raze Forerunner, to be honest. I think I'm fine taking the damage in the air for now. And I might just bounce back the End-Raze Forerunner end of turn. Let's see what he plays out. Second main. He could have a counter spell, hopefully not. Okay, Syndicate Messenger looks nice. So I'm going to bounce back the End-Raze Forerunner here. Definitely returning the End-Raze here. Now I can play out the... So now I can play out the Forest. I can play out the End-Raze Forerunner. I guess I attack with both, in a sense. So this is 5 power, this is 4 power trampling through. So he's going to be forced to block both. So I think I'm just going to attack here instead of using Titanic Brawl, given that these two have Vigilance. I could Titanic Brawl right now, and I think that might be the play, just to get into trample damage. So yeah, let's do this instead. Okay, so that's lethal, yep. Alright, pretty sweet. Exactly how this deck is supposed to function. Happy with the bounce spells and interaction spells. Opponent almost got us there with the flyers, but pretty solid. Opponent with a clear to mind deck. Obviously, the Junk Troller and all these removal spells. Verity Circle is going to be a bit problematic because he's just going to keep drawing cards with it. I think he's going to Summary Judgment Wave this Gyre Engineer to lower my ramp. Now I can play out the Skitter Eel, draw a card. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have a board wipe. But I'm pretty happy dealing with this clear to mind deck. Alright, don't think he's going to win here with Prying Eyes. Especially if he needs to gain life and destroy my whole board. Alright, sweet. Currently 2-0. Luckily he didn't pick up something like Kaya's Wrath, which would have been really devastating. Alright, let's move on. Alright, definitely keeping 2-drop and a 3-drop and raise 4 runners is really powerful, so let's begin. We also have another Seraphim hybrid. Opponent plays his own. I might be fine trading this one off if he offers an attack. Yeah, I might just go for the block if he decides to attack the trade. He could have like, yeah, Savage Smash. All right, makes sense. So gonna take 4 here for now. Next turn, taking another 2. Showbringer is looking nice. The turn after. Next turn we can play Steeple into Hybrid, so that seems pretty fun. Opponent might just have all the removal in the world. Is it our Savage Smash? Okay, Titanic Brawl this time. Okay. Opponent used up 2 removal spells already. Right, now I can play out the Steeple. I'm fine offering to trade with the 2-2 if he does so. It is setting me behind. Hopefully there's not a Scorch Mark here. Definitely blocking. Try to force a removal spell. That's good. So I don't have to deal with a 6/6 in the future. Clan Wrecker is a bit obnoxious. Need to double block that. But as of right now, Steeple Creeper looks nice. Maybe take 3, lock it down with Showbringer the turn after. Okay, Troll's scary. Alright, so this is going to be quite interesting. I think I'm going to have to lock down the Trollbred Guardian. If that's the case, do I attack here with the 4? Could offer a double block against the 3/3. I could just take 3. Maybe double block the turn after. Yeah, let's do so. Because I'm probably gonna try to double block this Trollbred the turn after or something. Even Biogenic Upgrade looks pretty decent next turn. Guess he's looking to adapt here. Next turn I have to double block this. The trample is a little bit obnoxious, but I think I can still deal with it. Hopefully land off the top gives me Biogenic Upgrade to do decent block. So I think I'm liking the upgrade here. I can't afford to take 7. So I think what I need to do is distribute 3/1/1 counters, double then double them. This is pretty interesting. If I put 2 counters here, this is going to become a 7/7, which can potentially trade off for this Troll Bread. This is going to deal 6 damage. I could just put 2 counters here and then attack with a 5 aerial. I don't know, this is a little bit awkward, but I think I still need to play defense or else I'm dead. So maybe something like this can be fine. And I think I should, he's definitely Titanic Brawling here, but I can still trade off for the Troll Bread. Well, I guess not. Okay, I'm just dead. Okay, that was a little bit tough. Opponent had a million removal spells. I could have chumped it, but I don't think it was worth it. It's definitely terrible value, so this game didn't really go according to plan. First loss, so let's continue. Yeah, it didn't really matter how many counters I distribute on both of those cards. He would Titanic Brawl, the one with the most, and then I would have to be forced to chump block the Troll Guardian just to survive for 1 turn. So either way, I don't think I was going to win that one. Opponent just had way too much removal spells for me to deal with. Alright, 2 drops. Let's keep. Definitely playing out the island for Thought Clash shenanigans, whatnot. It could have a Quench, but I think I'm still going to play out the Seraphorm here because I have nothing else to play. So let's play out the Seraphorm. No Quench, okay. So nice. In a couple turns, I'm just gonna have 2 6/6s onto the battlefield. Then I'm just gonna attack here. I could just attack and apply Biomancy for the trade, and I think I'm just gonna go for it. Could be obvious, but I think it's worth for the nice to trade the apply Biomancy to kill off an Aeromunculus and get 2 damage in. He's definitely gonna suspect something. He's probably gonna leave up mana next turn and try to block. And I think that's the most reasonable play, but now I can develop a Steeple Creeper. I can just attack the Steeple Creeper and offer a trade next turn if he just passes his turn and leads up like counter spells. And he's probably gonna do that because I did attack twice last turn. So think we just go for it. Maybe I just offer to trade. Yeah, I could try to flash into Fairy Duelist, see what happens. But next turn I should be able to adapt these Seraphorms. Could just have his own Fairy Duelist, his own Frilled Mystic, so he's just going to let that slide, and that's nice. So I think I'm just going to pass turn here so he doesn't try to do any counter spells in case I try anything. I could apply Biomancy right now to bounce this back. Nah, I think it's fine letting this resolve. I could still get in with a Steeple Creeper next turn, and then adapt Seraphim Hybrid end of his turn instead of attacking, because this can be quite scary in case he had any removal spells. Alright, let's let that resolve. I could bounce here, and it could be decent. Or let's say if I attack next turn I adapt, he could just double block. But I won't be able to use adapt and double block at the same time, so I think I'm just gonna bounce. So this looks like a nice turn for me to do this and turn. So he's just gonna take it? Okay. I don't... Sure. Alright, well the opponent did do some misplays there, so alright, sure. Guess it's currently 4-1, 3-1. Night of the Last Breath, 7 mana, 4/4. Alright, let's move on. Alright, currently 3-1. Think this can be okay. I do have a counter spell. Fairy Duelist can ambush something, maybe. Skitter Eel, it's okay at 4. I think this is a fine hand. It's more of a defensive one over a more tempo oriented one, 2-drop and a 3-drop and a 4-drop, but for now let's do this. Right? Let's Essence Capture or something. I might flash into Fairy Duelist end of turn given that he's in green, just to start applying a little bit of pressure, and it's a nice target for Essence Capture. I'm going to let that resolve. Yeah, I might just flash it in. There's not a lot of 1 toughness creatures in green anyways. That this Fairy Duelist can be a nice target for his Essence Capture in the future. So I think I like this. put out the forest. Just gonna attack in for 1. It's a little bit of pressure, but at least have a target with this essence capture if he plays something next turn. And that looks like a fine target, so I could have Dot Collapse for mana efficiency, but I do like to have a 2/3 attacker. So now Skitter Eel looks nice. So now this Fairy Duelist is quite a threat, being a 2-powered attacker in the air. Next turn I can leave up Thought Collapse or adapt the Skitter Eel. Wall, okay. That's an interesting card to play in a Simic deck, but those are really nice mills. Congrats to the opponent. I think I'm just going to attack here. There's no point attacking with the... And I think it's worth adapting here just to get rid of Wall. But, maybe it's better just to develop my creatures, perhaps. The Steeple Creeper looks like a fine attacker, so I think I'm going to play it out. Could have left up Dot Collapse and adapt, but his opponent would definitely be suspicious of something. Opponent managed to mill some pretty solid creatures on the top. These would have been great. So now I guess I can still play out the Gyre Engineer, adapt, and Thought Collapse. So I think I'm liking this. It's gonna attack in. I think I'm gonna pull the adapt and then set up a Thought Collapse if he tries something here. Happy trading off this Aeromunculus for the Steeple. Obviously. I think I'm adapting here, and then I still have enough for a Thought Collapse if we want to try any shenanigans. So the adapt doesn't really do much, right? Nothing now. I think I'm gonna leave up Thought Collapse. Don't think I see any point in playing out the Gyre Engineer, especially if I'm not looking to ramp. You could have like a Biogenic Ooze I need to counter. Don't think I need to counter that. I can still attack past it. So now I can attack here for 7. You could have like Growth Cycle, and then I can use the counter spell on it. So now Gyre Engineer is looking great, and now Thought Collapse can deal with whatever he plays that's big. Right, Mana Spider is a little bit obnoxious. Yeah, I think it's worth countering. Let's go for it. Could have his own counter spell. Okay, sure. Right, Guardian Project's looking great. I think I might just offer the trade here with the Skitter Eel so I can start getting in with this 2/3. So, happy killing off this Mammoth Spider. Now my 2-power flyer can start getting in. This Guardian Project is going to draw me a bunch of cards once my creatures get going. Definitely not blocking here. No reason to. I'm ahead in the race. Alright, Seraphim's looking great, so I can just definitely draw off of that. Well, I guess I can't, but I think I'm just going to adapt end of turn with the Seraphim rather than... could have something here. That's a nice top deck, to be honest, if he has something. Alright, let that resolve. I think I'm just going to main phase the Seraphim Hybrid in case he top decks like Titanic Brawl. So, pretty nice top deck. Now he's just going to lock down my 6/6. Alright, I might just chump block here. We'll see. Skitter Eel's looking great. But I already have one in the graveyard, so it's not going to draw me a card. Still great, however. Let's attack for 6. He has 8 toughness, so don't think the opponent's fighting past these. Yep, and opponent scoops it up. Currently 4-1. Let's keep going. Alright, Seraphim Hybrid, Duelist, Arresters, let's keep it. Seems like a pretty good opener. Opponent's in white. Could just lead off with a territorial board, to be honest. I'd rather have him use Summary Judgment on it next turn when I attack over the Seraphim Hybrid. So I think this is fine. Okay, Impassioned Orator. I think I'm just going to attack here. And if he wants to trade, I have a Fairy Duelist. Could just use a Duelist now. I think it can be pretty decent. Yeah, let's do it, just to get value off it. Don't know if I'm going to have better value later against his Death Touchers, but this is pretty solid. A Locket. Okay, so opponent might be playing Clear to Mind. Let's just attack here for 3. Steeple Creeper is a nice attacker. Let's play it out. Oh, I should have played this first. So, big misplay there. Could have gone for 1 extra damage. Could have mattered. Huge misplay. Opponent Splashing Blue. Grasping Throw is definitely one of those great cards. Guardian Project, but I can't play anything, so I think I'm just going to attack with the Steeple. Say go. I'm happy to trade. He could have like a he could have like the one where you return creatures from graveyard, Dead Revels. That's what it's called. Yeah, he probably has a Dead Revels. This can get pretty ugly. But he's gonna have to cast it for 4 mana, since he can't really enable Spectacle as of currently. Bellhaunt, okay. Definitely not gonna bounce that back. I think I like all my other cards, so I think I have to go for this Admonition. Alright, so that's great. So now I can play out this Guardian Project, start drawing cards the turn after, get in for 1. Probably the Dead Revels, but I don't think I'm double blocking this. He could enable Spectacle, but I think it's worth taking it here. Kind of a close decision. Could have Grotesque Demise, so I think I'm just going to take it here. Like, he could get a Spectacle Dead Revels, but honestly, I think if he has something else, this can be pretty scary. So I think I'm going to attack here. Don't know if there's any untapped tricks in white black. Probably not. I think I'm gonna offer the attack, even though he might have Summary Judgment up. I think it's worth it just to bait out. Okay, Angel of Grace. Well, Essence Capture is gonna deal with that. You can still exile this, I guess, to gain back 10 life, so that he's still getting value. But Angel of Grace was definitely a scary card that I happily countered. Blade Juggler, okay. Right, the Troll looks excellent. Let's play it out. I think I'm happy with offering the trade here of the Territorial Boar, because I'm going to get an attack in anyways. So let's attack like this. Hopefully he doesn't have like final payment next turn. That can be pretty annoying. Sure. Still taking 3. Next turn I can adapt the Seraphorm. He could go for like Grotesque Demise or sacrifice Locket end of turn. Yeah, he's just gonna sacrifice it. Doesn't have a 3rd land for Grotesque Demise, so maybe I just go for the attack. Could have it. Okay, so no bounce spells. I guess I might just go for it. Maybe I don't. I just play out the Skitter Eel. Because this is a huge risk. It does put him on a 2-turn clock. But I don't think I'm scared of dying for the most part that I need to do this. So I kind of like the Skitter Eel here. Just to draw a card and then smash next turn, I guess. And also just Chillbringer is nice. Blade Brand, okay, to draw a card. Makes sense. Probably taking 3, which I'm okay with, and then swing for maybe and try to lock down the next creature that he plays. He can still stay at 10 life with this Angel, so he's not scared of anything. Okay. Yep. Opponent's at 7. I think it makes sense to lock down this Bellhaunt. No, it's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah. Opponent can put himself to 8 or 10. 10 with the Angel of Grace. So I think I'm just going to attack with all. Kill like final payment. I think he could have. I think I might have misplayed here. So now he's probably got a final payment here, and he's just gonna ping me and then kill me if Vulcan Inheritus the turn after. So maybe I should have chump blocked. Okay, he's gonna try to get up to 10 life. Okay. You're still dying. Okay, sure. Alright, close, pretty close game. He could have got me the turn after. Alright, so pretty happy here. Currently 5-1. Let's keep going. Alright, it's taking a while to find an opponent. Usually it does hit the 1 minute mark and you will eventually find one, so. Alright, sweet. Giant Engineer on 3. Steeple Creeper. Trollbred, seems good. Opponent has blue up, so could be playing counter spells. Simic, okay. Could just play the second island to represent essence capture. So you might be wary of playing something. Doesn't, okay. Could just lead off with a Jar Engineer. I wouldn't mind it if he counters it. Because all I need really is land 5 for Trollbred and Chillbringer, so I think I like it here. Doesn't have any counter spell, I see. Next turn is going to be pretty nice. I still think I need to play around it. Given now it's a turn for Frilled Mystic to flash in. So I might just lead off with a Steeple Creeper and try to get that countered over the 5 drops. Alright, Skitter Eel's nice. I could just tap this down. He could adapt and fight it off next turn. I can't steep. I could keep up Steeple and use applied Biomancy, but I don't think that's too good. Yeah, maybe the Trollbred Guardian is just the right play here. Next turn I can adapt and use this to fight off the opponent. And this is pretty hard for him to fight off with Titanic Brawl anyways. So this is looking really good. That's a strange attack. Not blocking, because there's obviously he's looking to adapt. Don't know what the triple blue is. Right, Ceratok is something I'm looking to really fight off. So So I think the play here is just adapt Titanic Brawl and play out Seraphorm Hybrid. Let me think here. Or just keep up instant speed, to be honest. Pretty hard choice here. I could just keep up the Thought Collapse and maybe like adapt end of turn, and keep up a Thought Collapse. I think that's better. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna say go here. Like, I want both my counter spells and fight spells. So if he tries something fishy, I can definitely block here. Adapt and then use the Thought Collapse. Probably gonna play a pretty big creature here. We'll see. Alright, Shieldbringer. That's annoying. So I could counter it. Or I can adapt and fight something off. Yeah, I think it's worth countering it. Now, then, end of turn, I can definitely fight off whatever he has on the battlefield. He could have like a Stony Strength. So maybe I just adapt main phase, end of turn. Yeah, I think that's even better. Just adapt here. We're gonna play land. Now we can play out the Chillbringer. Lock down the Rage Ceratok. Use Titanic Brawl. Fight off the Skitter Eel. And he could have Stony Strength here. But I think I need to get this 7 damage in, so I think I'm gonna attack here, and it's locked down. So unless he really has it, then I think this attack is definitely worth it. Alright, sure, he has his own, makes sense. So now I do have Applied Biomancy here. So this looks interesting. I have 8 mana open, so I can play Seraphorm Hybrid and Adapt. So it looks pretty decent. I could just play out Steeple Creeper and then also keep up mana for Applied Biomancy. I think that's even better. Let's do this. Gonna attack in for 7. I think I'm gonna block the Enraged Ceratok if he attacks with it. I can blow him out next turn with the Applied Biomancy if he goes for all these blocks. Next turn I can also adapt Hybrid and also Applied Biomancy, so that looks pretty nice. I could also just give Steeple Creeper Flying. Right, Skatewing Spy, sure. He's probably gonna adapt a Skitter Eel and give it flying end of turn. I could blow him out with the Applied Biomancy, of course. Is there any reason to apply Biomancy end of turn? I could to bounce a Skatewing Spy, give the Steeple Creeper flying, but he still has 2 good blocks on this Trollbred Guardian, so I think I'm just gonna pass. Say go. Just adapt to Hybrid, makes sense. Then get in for a huge attack. I think I'm going to send in the Steeple. He could trade it off, but I think I'm fine with that. This is a lot of damage. These are pretty hard blocks to deal with. And he's forced to chump both of these just to survive. That's why Biomancy is such an excellent interaction spell at 2 mana. I think we just let the damage happen. Don't think I need to bounce. These are really good blocks for me. I don't think I'm losing anytime soon. So yeah, this is good. Don't think I need to bounce anything back. Opponent also really has a really solid Simic deck. But yeah. Alright, pretty sweet. Currently 6-1. Let's just print screen on this. Alright, let's save this as well. Yep. Sweet, so we have the part 1 draft video for this game, and also gameplay footage as well on one video. So yep, pretty nice having a 6-1 Simic deck. Let's try to beat the final boss. Yep. Let's. If you're hearing any noise, it's because I'm eating, and someone is using the laundry room, so hopefully you guys can ignore that. But currently, yeah, pretty nice draft so far. 2 drop, yep, this looks good, let's keep. I think I might lead off with the Territorial Boar, same reason why I don't want to play into Summary Judgment. Also, I'm not looking to adapt anytime soon, so Territorial Boar looks nice here. Could play out the island, just in case I have I top deck a Thought Collapse, but I think I'm gonna be suspicious here. I'm probably gonna not attack here, because if I attack, it's gonna be obvious that I have like Fairy Duelist. But other than that, it kind of offers him an incentive to attack, regardless. So, yep, let's do this. Definitely a nice Fairy Duelist target here. Could have done it on a Death Toucher, of course, but this is really nice. Just because I have a 1-2 blocker now against this 1-1 flyer. And this still takes it out, so. Right, Pilla's Pontiff is kind of scary. You can give this Death Touch and sacrifice the 1-1 flyer. So now I can get him for 1, but he'll just swing back at 1 for me with me. So I could attack with a Territorial Boar. He sacrificed a 1-1 Spirit to get this Death Touch and bounce it back. I don't know. Maybe just Skitter Eel is just a better decision. I could attack him for 1, but don't think I can deal with. Don't think I want to trade 1 for 1 as of right now. I think I can start attacking with this Territorial Boar. If he wants to try something, so be it. He could sacrifice the 1-1, give it Death Touch. I think I'm okay with that. And if he trades off the 1-2 Death Touch, that's still fine. I still have a blocker in the air. And sweet, I think this is good. Don't think I need to bounce anything. Opponent has a lot of Death Touch, So for final boss, this is definitely something. So I think I'm going to main phase this Adapt to play around Grotestomized and play out this Seraphorm Hybrid. Next turn I can attack, he can probably do a block, sacrifice, and I can bounce this back, perhaps. Because this Pitiless Pontiff is quite a huge nuisance. Okay, so that's annoying. Right, he's going to gain 5 life. This looks like a really difficult opponent to deal with. I think I'm going to main phase this Adapt. To play around Grotestomized, they go. I could play out the Steeple Creeper and start going in the air. So that seems pretty solid. Is there any good attacks with Seraphorm? Let's say I attack, he blocks, sacrifices. I could bounce this back, but then he can just replay it the turn after, make another spirit. So I think I'm fine just playing out. May just find Cinco. No, next turn I can give the Steeple Creeper flying and start getting in. I think that's what I'm going to do. For being Spirit's a bit obnoxious, so it's going to delay me for a turn. Gyre Engineer looks nice here. Then I can play out. Maybe I'm just going to keep the land to play around Basilica Bellhunt, but next turn I can start giving this Steeple Creeper flying and start getting in. And he can double block if he wants, but he's losing 2 tokens. Blade Juggler, okay. It's fine. I could just attack with both. Give this flying. I could attack with both, and if he decides to do the shenanigans where he sacrifices a token, I can just apply Biomancy and bounce. I think I'm going to do that. Offer both to attack. Or if he wants to double block, I can still bounce as well, so. So that's nice. So then he's going to probably block. Double block this Steeple Creeper so I can grow this and also bounce. I could have also returned my own Fairy Duelist back into my hand. Try to negate the Death Touch, but this becomes indestructible as well. So now I can start getting in for 4. He does not have a single flyer. And now this 6/6 can block, so that seems pretty nice. And also another Applied Biomancy, so this seems pretty nice. But I think I'm just going to give the Steeple Creeper flying and then attack in with the Fairy Duelist. And the Steeple kind of makes sense here. Get in for 5. Leave up the 6/6 as a blocker. You could just sacrifice. If he's going to try anything, Blade Brand is pretty annoying, so I think I'm going to bounce here. And this kind of negates his card draw, and also it loses Death Touch. Alright, sweet. Man, Managed to get a nice 7-1 against the Horizontal deck. I'm not sure if he should have quitted, honestly. I think he could have stabilized if he found a way to deal with the Steeple Creeper, but it would have been quite a long match. But other than that, happy with the 7-1. Great Simic deck. So I'm going to upload this on my YouTube and maybe do some Throne of Eldraine draft later. So have a wonderful day, guys, and take care. Bye.